Holy cow. It's not a joke. Everyone was astonished by what Blackrock did. Ripple's CTO made something clear, and are we ready to see a crypto return in India? Hi, lovely individuals. Thank you so much for coming to see me tonight. We don't have time for niceties. Let's get started. So right now, XRP is worth $2.31, approximately 32 cents, which is up 0.4% from the previous day. Bitcoin is at $1.09, which is down 0.3% on the day. Ethereum has gone up 4%. If you think back to last year when we hosted the Bitcoin conference, you might remember that Bitcoin went down a little bit. If you remember, it happened on the 27th and 29th. And then President Trump spoke at the conference, and you could see that this was going on around here. Everyone wanted to see a new all-time high, but that didn't happen. After then, Bitcoin went down. So it's fascinating that there are a lot of things going on at this Bitcoin conference. People expected we would see price movements last year, but we didn't. It would be interesting to observe, these 2 or 3 days now that the conference is going on. All the people are there, but they're not trading or investing. What's going on? I am not there. Isn't that right? Next year, maybe. But maybe you folks will send me there. Is that right? You will hit the like button. Number. But it was more of a personal reason. Maybe we'll go next year. And it will be extremely interesting to observe how the markets react in the next several days to what could happen. This is a pretty fascinating situation. A price action, which is kind of boring here, but it's going extra P, not much going on, but we know that things can go crazy quite quickly. I was trying to think of a better way to say that. But we want to go to the bananas zone. I said, okay, that's a nice phrase. XRP receives support for strike options on a big exchange. Crypto.com has added a new trading tool for the XRP army. The Commodities Future Trading Commission, CFTC, is in charge of the strike options that Crypto.com offers. So this is another avenue for XRP investors to invest in XRP in multiple ways. It will be very fascinating to watch if that has any effect on the price of XRP in the future. David Schwartz also gave us this really intriguing answer to a topic that someone posed honestly. Why is Garlinghouse the face of XRP and Ripple the issuer if XRP is decentralized? I don't see the same thing with Bitcoin. And this is how he answered. Ripple is a firm, and Garlinghouse is its CEO. There is no issuer for XRP. When the ledger was made, all of the XRP that would ever exist was made. XRPL is different from most other blockchains because it doesn't have any rivals. So the ledger itself can truly handle the first distribution, and it can also let anyone who wants to take as much XRP as they want. If you're wondering if XRPL is decentralized, I suggest you take a few minutes to think about why you care if a ledger is decentralized. Think about what you want to be sure will happen and what you don't want to be sure will happen. Then think about what it would take for the things you don't want to happen anyway, or the things you do want to happen anyway. That will let you think about how to center something without getting stuck in definitions. I assume they were asking this because there was a problem with the blockchain this week, and people saw that they stopped it from falling apart. That has made a lot of people wonder. Also, you can see that it mentions here that the XRP ledgers were the first and only place where XRP was made. There is no central authority in the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger doesn't have any built-in mechanisms for mining or staking. You can figure just how centralized the system really is by looking at how it operates in real life. A lot of questions will come out because of this. It will be interesting to see what people would do if something like that happened to XRP. It's not precisely the same. They're not, SUI is not XRP and XR, and sorry, SUI and XRP are not the same, and XRP and SUI are not the same either. But you need to think about whether you'd rather the asset fail or have the chance to stop anything like this from happening in SUI. And you have to think about the good and bad things. Some folks will answer yes. I would be prepared to give up part of the decentralization in case something like that happens so that I don't lose all of my money. A few people have told me that they won't put their money into something that isn't really decentralized. You have to determine if that's something you want to think about or if it's not that important to you. Okay? As always, this is not financial advice. You should always do your own research before you invest. The US is on its way to becoming the world's Bitcoin powerhouse, according to President Trump's executive director of digital assets. There are a lot of great things coming out of this Bitcoin conference right now. That was the first one. And then we got these great things from Blackrock. We grabbed a few. Let's hear what the Blackrock managing director had to say. First of all, I don't think you need to see the competition as a zero-sum game. Is that right? In a lot of respects, they're just various views on the same idea, investing thesis, and way of looking at the world. Is that right? Both are global, scarce, decentralized, and have a fixed supply. Is that right? Investors like them because they are both apart from traditional country and systemic concerns. Gold is also far less volatile and has been around for a much longer. But Bitcoin is native to the digital world and is easy to store. You can send it anywhere in the globe almost instantly and at almost no cost. So it has some big benefits as well. I don't think there's any doubt that Bitcoin has a lot more potential for growth and a lot less potential for loss than gold, right? So investors have diverse tastes in it, and a lot of them will hold both. We see a lot of investors putting money into both. Some people are moving from, say, $100 in gold Bitcoin to $80.20 or $50.50. We see a lot of that, but Bitcoin and gold are definitely developing as a type of investment and a way to protect your money. That's interesting. And then he stated this, which startled and stunned a lot of people. What has transpired since that suggestion? Are you following that advice? What kinds of investors are interested in it? How do we get investors to actually put 1 to 2% of their money into that? Yes. So, just to give some people in the audience an idea of what model portfolios are and how they work, the main goal is to help financial advisors design better, more optimal portfolios for their clients. So model portfolios have become a really useful tool for financial advisors to use to do that. We have a lot of assets in the model portfolios that we develop and give to our wealth advisor clients at Blackrock. And as you said, one of those portfolios incorporated Bitcoin as an investment in February, which was around 3 months ago. It was in the 1% to 2% level. This was a model portfolio that had some alternatives in it. And I think that was a big change that didn't just happen all of a sudden because of whatever. That happened because that team had been studying and analyzing such portfolios for several years. So when we talk about Blackrock and their investments, we also need to realize that they are buying 2,000 Bitcoin. They should remember that they are really buying for their ETF. They are buying things for their clients. BlackRock indicated in February that they were putting 1 to 2% of that portfolio into that specific fund. Is that right? That was what they said to do. They're not really all in on Bitcoin because they don't have a lot of it on their balance sheet. They do possess a lot of Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin they do own is for their consumers.